Well, we had our last tour in June 2011 with Frontline Assembly and AccuCrack and Dismantled. 3 months after that tour, I got the opportunity to get the studio space and just kind of like launched myself into that, trying to get, a platform of other people I'm working with and solidifying the team and making sure that we were getting the, best gear for in here to record. And then also just taking our time figuring out a lot of new aspects with mixing. That was some of the last stuff we worked on with Jamie Duffy, was really starting to learn how to hone, compression and EQ and all that fun stuff that has pretty much taken the better part of a decade, but we're finally grasping. What prompted the Angel Spit meetup was we met each other in New York. We played there with Dismantled. They were really cool guys, and we didn't meet Amelia, so it was just really cool guys. I'm sure she's a really cool girl, but we're going to meet up officially in a few weeks here. And these guys were really cool, big fans, knew our tracks, and I knew their tracks, and we thought it would just make sense that put our heads together to make some sort of, fiendish cyberpunk kind of tour, with an anti-corporatism kind of slant to it. And then that's how the Wall Street Massacre Tour became a reality. Corporatism and the media, they have a dual nature about themselves, a double-edged sword kind of, necessary tools, but they're also extreme evils. With the new album that we've been writing, there's been a lot more of a universal apocalyptic feel to it, post-apocalyptic feel to it, because we dealt with transhumanism and then drug addiction and media addiction on the first couple albums, and then with Worst Case Scenario, it's kind of like the all-encompassing product of the over-integration of technology and the over-reliance on technology and drugs and media. It has a extreme kind of anti-corporatism angle to it, but not in like a Project Mayhem kind of Fight Club kind of way. Just when the world is in ruins, there's not going to be, mega corporations with strangleholds. Like, the world's going to be in ruins, and we're kind of trying to put ourselves in that mindset for finishing up this album. So we've been holing up in the what we call the bunker here, because it's 4 rooms at Glitch Mode, but there's no windows. You're in a big black spaceship that happens to have, strange lighting. It's been very helpful for inspiration. Watch The Thing in here, watch John Carpenter's version of The Thing in here, and then try to not write something that feels kind of grim. And that's pretty much the mindset for Worst Case Scenario. As we gotten older, partying less, taking more of a adult approach to making sure that this is actually a fine-tuned machine instead of a bunch of rivet-head frat kids just getting wasted and roaming the U.S. and Canada. We made a conscious decision, just that, we have to keep this going, because it's the thing that makes us all hopeful for some part of the year, It's great to know that there'll be a tour on the horizon if we get, certain amount of songs ready for release. Or it feels good that we built some sort of momentum in the past decade. We've been around for a decade, but we actually we haven't officially had anything out, except we're past 9 years for the demo, but no one remembers the first Cyanotic demo, only hardcore bastards. We were in our infancy stages for, I'd say, the first 7 years of our lifespan. And thanks to, all those big influences of ours, all the cold wave synthcore guys, 16-volt Acumen Nation, especially, Chem Lab, like getting to work with those guys and having them take us under their wing really helped us hone our onstage performance and our ability to cope with all of the intoxicating chemicals that can abound after a show. Jamie was always a consummate professional, would never get out of line, would always say, "Thank you, ma'am," "Hello, sir," was always very cordial, was always very kind to people, was always, the guy to give change to the, homeless guy that everyone else passed up on the street. Like, I'm serious, too. That's not me painting Jamie Duffy as Mother Teresa. He was genuinely a dear friend. Like, I was so happy that he became a part of our lives in the last few years, because he just had a really good symbiotic understanding of audio. And now that he's gone, we're just going to have latency forever, latency prevails without his protocol. But beyond that, I mean, what he really taught me about production and being a producer and being a friend was, to first and foremost, like, remember that you're a human and you should be humane, and don't talk down to anybody, and remember that everybody has conflicts, and not to let yourself become a self-obsessed narcissist. Lots of people like to, say what an amazing legacy the man had, and they don't even know half of his discography. But nonetheless, like, Jamie Duffy's understanding of sound and his understanding of human relationships will be greatly missed by all of the people that were close to him over the years. And I know that we're looking at, pictures of Jamie on this wall at Glitch Mode, like, that were hung, a year ago. They weren't just like, "Oh, Jamie's dead, well, we better put up some pictures of DJ Eckergrack." I mean, I'm staring at 4 pictures of Jamie right now on my wall, like, Jamie's never going to be forgotten by us. And, we got to be able to live on with the spirit and the kind of determination that guy had. It was very sad. It was a very sad event that had a very positive conclusion, because all those bands getting together to play all of Jamie's favorites, and no one even had to say, "Hey, are we playing Jamie's favorites?" Everybody knew what songs were Jamie's favorites just from the get-go. Like, there's no question that we were going to make a proper memoriam to him, and I really felt like that was probably the closest I've ever felt to being involved in a hive mind understanding. Like, everyone was dead set centered on just making it a real monument, a real memoriam to a great guy's time on this planet that was way too fucking short. Well, before the tour, we have a bunch of releases that have been either in the fetal stages or are just now being done that we're having to wrap up. We haven't been conscious of the fact that we've been withholding all of this material, but at the point that it did become, like, obvious to me that, like, we should be releasing a lot of this stuff. At that point, we had stockpiled so much material that it's feeling nice for once to have a steady amount of releases planned, and I don't have to keep wondering what's next, because we've got a lot of projects, like, nearing completion that they can then piggyback onto promotion of another release. Because, I mean, we have stockpiled such extremely long list of projects and tracks in the past 12 months that we're setting ourselves up And it feels really good because that can kind of help self-sustain the business and help be a constant source of income while not having to be our only source of income. Because a lot of the income's coming from either engineering. I'll do a lot of recording engineering in the studio for local hip-hop or whatever. Now that we're in the final couple months of 2012 and we've got two tours, 2 US-Canada tour legs happening pretty much back to back, it's time for audiovisual floodgate to open up. Now that we're fully in charge of it and think out the PR plans and we think out the promo strategies and we're able to completely control the product. We're able to start exploring some really interesting avenues, I'm really looking forward to being able to get back out on the road, and this is going to be the most sane that I've ever gone out. I feel like I've got the most competent live band incarnation so far. Jordan from Common Man Down on live synths and backing vocals, and Paul Wood from Murder Happens and the Wax Tracks retrospectacle incarnation of KMFDM. And then, of course, Chris and I have pretty much been the only consistent members live. But for once, after years of all constantly rotating cast of characters, it feels, watch me jinx it by saying this, but it feels like we have a pretty solid setup this time, and I'm really excited to get back on the road and see all these people that we think about all the time. We've got a huge year ahead of us, and I really can't wait until we're able to have done both of those legs of the tour. And we're finally going some places on the tour where we haven't been in 5 years, like Atlanta. We always have people harassing us, specifically a couple good guys, to come play Atlanta. And just today it was like, hey, guess what? You guys can't bitch. Come back to Atlanta. So being able to do 2 legs back to back is going to be really exciting. And I just can't wait because this is going to be our first proper co-headlining tour, and it's with a band that I have always liked since the moment, I heard them, which was the same time Transhuman came out, their first album came out, and I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool? We can go on tour with these guys. They're kind of our equivalent, except they have a female vocalist. So I'm really excited to see how this is all going to play out, because I'm seeing a lot of faces and names, via the Twitters and the Facebooks and all the, I'm seeing a lot of names just kind of popping up oh, wow, cool, you guys are on tour. Again, I can't wait, and, see you in so-and-so. It's going to be really good to get back out on the road and show people what we can do now that we've spent the past better half of a decade accruing battle scars,